Everyone has a bright light inside of them that deserves to be seen by the world. That's why it's time to shine the light on the extraordinary who are accomplishing phenomenal things. This is the Shine Out Loud Show with Lillian Ogbogo.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to another episode, yes, with me, Lillian Ogbogo. Now, tonight is going to be really, really amazing. We have the incredible creator of color blend makeup. I'm talking about Kesha Williams. Now, I think we just had her drop off the line, but I think she's back here. So join me and welcome Kesha to the show. Hi, Kesha.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing today?
I am fine. Listen, lady, I'm just so excited to have you on the show. And I'm thinking about how we met. We met at an event. It was for, the name escapes me, these three lovely ladies that organize these events. And I was just mesmerized by your product. Oh, I think we have just lost her again. So bear with us while she comes through. I'm talking about, this is a story of a brand that is just a phenomenal brand. We are talking about how she went from creation to ending up in the house of Fraser. And it's going to be a whole journey and story. So bear with me one moment while we get her back on the call. Right. And so, yes, we've gotten her back on and we are set to go. Kesha, welcome to the show.
Hi, Lillian. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
So, minus our technical gremlins, we were talking about how you made that leap from makeup artist to makeup creator. How did that happen?
Yes. So when I was younger, I was a makeup artist for all different concessions within Selfridges and Debenhams and Boots and so on. And I really enjoyed it for a time. And we're talking sort of late teens, when I worked for a little while as a makeup artist, and then I got a bit bored. I wanted a bit more variety, a few more challenges. So right. I moved into admin, I moved into security, I moved into retail. Ultimately, all of those jobs didn't fulfill me, but I needed to try different areas just to see where I fit and what I actually like doing. My last job was in admin in central London. And that's when I fell pregnant with my son.
Right.
And I went on maternity leave, and when he was, 10, 11 weeks old, I got made redundant. So it was a tricky time back then. And rather than sort of enjoy my new baby, I was worrying about jobs and income and, oh my God, what am I going to do? So quite early on in my maternity leave, I started looking for new jobs, and I couldn't get one. Just simply, I couldn't get one. I didn't know why, because I was fresh out of a job. But I just couldn't get a job straight away. And I thought, right, I'm going to need to do something to improve my prospects. So I'd gone to uni for the first time ever when my son was 10 months old. While I was there, I felt that guilt that I'm sure most mums feel when they have to leave their child in childcare and go to work or go and study. And I just thought, once I graduate, do I want to find another job? And I thought, no, because I'm still going to have that same guilt, of rushing back from work, back to the nursery or back to the school. And I just thought, Kesha, you're going to have to start a business. What is your passion? What will you start a business in? I thought, okay, makeup. Let's go back to makeup. And again, I thought, okay, if I become a makeup artist again, I'm going to need those long hours. I'm going to have to leave my son again and, be on set all day and all evening and all those things. And I just thought, okay, if you can't do the makeup, find a way to make the makeup. So in year 2 of uni, I said, I'm going to have a look. So I started researching and, looking up legislations and ingredients and so on and so forth. And the concept of colour blend came about during university when I was in year 2, and I thought, when I graduate, I'm just going to launch the business. It's going to be fine. It was never that It's never going to be that smooth, never. So I got the first batch of products made, which was the Colour Blend Contour Palette. And I had about 50, I think, sent to my home in the first instance. And I just was so mesmerised by them. I used to open the box every day to look at them. And what I realised is that once I got them, I wasn't doing anything with them. And I realised that I was absolutely petrified of what would I call it? Of just putting myself out there. And every day I would go to this box, and this box had been sitting there for about 4 months by then. And going to the box, just looking at it, thinking, oh, they're so pretty, but I'm so afraid, you know. I was literally paralysed by fear for a good 4, 5, 6 months and did nothing with them. They were collecting dust, you know. And so I thought, no, you know, there's no point in spending the money you've spent, which was mainly funded by my student finance. You know how hard it is as a student anyway.
Exactly.
You know, I used most of my student finance to fund that. And I thought, no, I can't have wasted that. So I found myself a mentor who said to me, you know, Kesha, you're going to have to do something with them. You know, what's the worst that can happen? You won't die. And that's a phrase that I use to this day to most of my friends and my family. Oh, you know, what can I do? Look, you won't die, okay? And then from that, it's kind of like, actually, yeah, I won't die. So let me get rid of them and see how they fare. And that's exactly what I did. And it had such a good reception. That is what prompted me to say, yeah, do you know what? This is good stuff. You know, I can do this. It can be done. And then 6 months after I graduated, in January 2016, Colour Blend was launched online. And that is the story.
And that is an amazing story. And, you know, the fact that you talked about analysis paralysis, you talked about, you know, the fear around, I have this, now what? We're going to come back to those 2 points. We're going to put a pin in them and come back to them because there's just so much stuff that I want to go through with you, especially on this, your journey to being this brand. So you recently won the best cosmetic brand at the BFA Awards.
Yes.
How does it feel to have your brand acknowledged in this way? And first and foremost, I think, let me circle back. What are the BFA Awards?
Okay, so they are the Black Beauty and Fashion Awards. They launched in 2017, I believe. And it's an awards ceremony which aims to become, you know, the Oscars of the cosmetics world.
Right.
They celebrate, you know, black business owners, black brands, and give them a chance to shine, really. Give them a platform to be seen, and that's exactly what they did for me. So we won, the best cosmetic brand category, which was amazing because we were up against Sleek and Bobbi Brown, the big boys in the industry. And it was a wicked time because from that, you know, the awareness peaked for the brand. We were also nominated for Best Foundation and for the Constituency Award, and that was the nomination from my local MP. So even to be nominated in 3 categories, I was even humbled by that, you know, and to win 1, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Right, and that's not the end of it because last year in December that's just gone by, Colour Blend was part of the 3-day pop-up at the House of Fraser store. How did that come about? Ooh, I think we have just lost her again, so bear with me one moment while I get her back on. We seem to be having some gremlins today, but it's fine. Bear with me one moment.
Where were we left off? House of Fraser? That was it?
Yes. We're just talking about how you got the 3-day pop-up at the House of Fraser.
Yes, so that was thanks to 2 lovely ladies, Jennifer Leslie of Afro Vintage and Fumi from Frost and Onyx. They sent me an email one day, and in the subject I just saw, you know, House of Fraser opportunity. Now, bear in mind that Colour Blend is a brand that I've always visioned in a department store. So I opened that email straight away and I read it. And they simply said, you know, we love your brand. We're having a 3-day event in House of Fraser in Oxford Street. You know, do you want to be a part of it? And I couldn't reply quick enough. You know, just couldn't get the yes over quick enough. And it was amazing. You know, these ladies, they created an event with House of Fraser in time for Christmas, of course, perfect timing.
Of course.
And yeah, we popped up alongside 2 or 3 other brands on the day. And it was great because visually, aesthetically, colour blend makeup fits right in that sort of environment. And for me, you know, it was heaven, because I've always wanted the brands in that store, and to see it come to fruition, even though it was one day, was amazing for me. And that was all thanks to Jennifer and Leslie.
Oh,
well, that was, just December gone. And again, you know, we've had some loyal customers come up. You know, they tend to follow us to our live events. We met some new ones. I met a lovely lady there who invited me to her event in March last month, which was brilliant, in Canary Wharf. So, you know, the connections made, it was a wicked time.
Awesome. So, you know, without giving trade secrets away, how have your shades come to be so diverse?
Well, initially, colour blend makeup is for everybody.
Okay.
All skin tones. I've decided to tailor certain products, i.e. our lipsticks and our foundations, to women of colour. There's black women, mixed race women, Asian women. And if we use our lipsticks, for example, Deluxe Extreme Lips, they're very bold and very vibrant. And it's a range that can be used for most skin tones.
Right.
For all skin tones even. So I wanted something that was always going to have a lot of pigment that's quite bold, and that is what colour blend is about, really. It's made to encapsulate diversity, beauty, universal beauty, and individual self-expression. The products are, they've got bold colours and long-wearing formulas. So hopefully, someone of every skin tone can find a product within the range that is for them or fits them.
Awesome. So, looking at your brand, how important has networking been for you and colour blend in your journey?
It is super important. It's imperative. It can be tricky for myself personally, because I am a mother. I am a lone parent at that as well. So I can't always get out to every event or networking event that I would like to be at. But I've noticed that when I have been at, the major events, i.e. House of Fraser or even the award ceremony, there's always, that handful of people that I meet that are so key to the growth of the business.
Right.
So, like I said, just now, for example, in House of Fraser, I met at the very last minute, just before we were closing, I met a lady. Her name was Arlene King. And the only reason why I stopped her, this might be going off topic for a minute, but the only reason why I stopped her, because she was super tall. Now, I'm quite tall. And this lady just stood out to me. And, I was completely shattered after a long day of trading. And she walked past and I said, hey, take a flyer, take a leaflet. And she said, oh, what's this? And she stood back and looked at the brand. And then she said, you know what? You'd be perfect. We're having a fashion show in Canary Wharf in March. I want you there, and so on and so forth. We made the connection, and I slayed the models for her fashion show in March. So awesome. Networking is super important. You never know who knows who. And it's key. It is key to growth.
Awesome. Now, was there resistance to your idea in the beginning when you started saying to people, hey, I'm going to start my own makeup line? Was there any resistance?
From other people?
Yes.
Not particularly, no. I wouldn't say there was resistance. I've always been encouraged and motivated. The only thing I could... Not necessarily resistance, but sometimes the people that you expect to support you don't necessarily support you.
Right.
So I wouldn't call that resistance. I would just call that, you don't have what they need at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I think a bit deeper, not that I can think of. No, it's probably my own resistance to myself in the beginning, if I'm honest.
Right. Okay, so let's actually touch on that. What were your own resistance?
So it was a case of, am I good enough? There are so many makeup brands already. It's a saturated industry. Can I even do it? Are you even cut out for this, Kesha? Why don't you just stick to something that's less frightening? So it was a resistance within myself, which slowed down the initial launch. But I think everything happens for a reason, and everything within its time. And sometimes, it's not my time.
Exactly.
So yeah, so I think mainly, yeah, it was my own resistance that held me back to start with.
Okay, and those resistance were the doubts that come up, and and we all have these doubts, and we'll touch on how you actually dealt with these, as you call them, the resistance and the doubts, and that you put in place that allowed you to move forward. We're going to come to those. So, looking at how did you go from drawing board to first lipstick? How did you make that happen?
So again, it was during uni. So my time was quite, what would I say? I was pressed for timing because I had to get my essays and my assignments done primarily because, I'm at university. So it was a long-winded process. I think from the drawing board to the actual launch, to the actual first product even, was about 18 months. Okay. So you kind of develop something, you test it, you see if the colours are right, if the textures are right, you add or take away whatever you don't like. And that was the process for me for 18 months. And a lot of the times I didn't actually even want to do my uni work at all. So, I'd be at uni in the day, and while I'm in my lecture, I'm looking at, these colours and this law and this and that and the other. And I thought, oh, this is so exciting, so intriguing. Oh, I've got to do this assignment now. Oh, that's how I felt. I just didn't want to do the uni work anymore. And then I'd come home and get my son from nursery and, bath and bed and all of that, and get straight back onto colours and textures and all of that. So from the beginning, at that time, the Colour Blend Contour Palette was the first product. So at that time, contouring had just come in, and there weren't any other 6-well contour palettes other than the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. Mm-hmm. So I thought, yeah, contour is becoming a trend now. This is probably the first product to bring out. In hindsight, obviously you learn things as time goes on. In hindsight, I think maybe the lipsticks were a better product to bring out first, but you learn as you go along.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. As a makeup, first of all, you're a makeup artist, and now you're a makeup producer. You own your own brand. How do you handle seeing those women still with bad makeup? How do you deal with it?
Are we talking about sort of personal, family and friends, or
just personal, family and friends, random strangers who still have that orange glow going on? We won't call the brand.
No, we won't. We won't.
No. How do you handle seeing them go by on the street? Because I know if it was me, I would want to chase them down and go, come, I can save you from this. It doesn't have to be this way.
Sometimes it gets like that. Sometimes, I've got flyers on me. I say, oh, have you heard of a brand called Colour Blend? And I say, oh, a lot of the times it's no, which is fine. And I say, okay, have a look at these. I know they've got really good foundations and what have you. I got a foundation from there. What I found, if I'm honest, is that if I've gone up to random people, it works better if I say that I work for the brand, not that I own the brand. Uh-huh. So they think, I'm an employee and what have you, and that's great. That seems to make things go smoother. So they take a leaflet and I ask, maybe give us your name or your social media handle or what have you, and then kind of follow it up that way. Can we send you samples and what have you? But yeah, when it comes to, friends, my own friends, my own family, it's more of a case of, girl, I can hook you up. You can come over, and, they don't take offense to it. They know, just trying to, just give them what I've got really, because it's good quality products. They are good quality products. I'm very confident. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I can actually say they are good products because I've actually tried your products.
Yes.
Yes. The Bitchy lipstick is just so wonderfully easy to apply. But what had me was the name. How do you come up with the names?
Sometimes I find random inspiration. Just random. Now, Bitchy, I love purple. Purple is my favorite color.
Yes.
And the type of purple it is, it's really deep and really rich. And I'd never kind of maybe use that to decorate a wall or something. I think it's too dark, but it's perfect for the lips. But when I discovered that color and I put it on, I was like, well, how do I feel today with these lips? Yes, girl. I'm thinking, but not a bitch. We're not bitches. It's just a case of, having attitude, having sass. When you put that on, you do feel vibrant and bold, and that's how I come up with them sometimes. Even Marilyn is one of the best-selling ones as well. That's a really red double-decker bust red, MAC Ruby Woo dupe red. And it's actually someone put it on one day, and they just had a stance of, with the skirt blowing in Marilyn Monroe, and I thought, okay, we can call that one Marilyn. Yeah, we'll go with that. So it's not often actually I ask how I come up with the names of the colours, to be fair.
Yeah, because some of them, that one, I think the name had me, and then when I tried the color, I was like, yeah, I don't care. This is coming home with me.
Yes.
It just had to
and
happen.
How do you feel when you have it on? Do you feel like, yes,
I
this
absolutely love that shade. Now, I don't wear it all the time because, there are times when you wear it, you're like, yeah, everybody in the room sees you. And you're like, okay, so... Yeah, I won't wear this to the office. We'll just leave that at home.
Exactly. Time and the place. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need Stacey from HR.
Right. So you put them on, you sort of command a presence. And even my friends, I love them so much. When they buy the lipsticks, they're like, oh my God, Kesha, I could just kiss myself. How have you done this? I need 4. Okay, give me 4. I've got a friend, she has 4 lipsticks, one in her car, one in her handbag, one at home in case it gets lost, and one at her desk in case that gets lost. And she's like a real diehard fan. But I love how it makes people feel.
I love that thought process. One in case it gets lost, one in the car.
Yeah.
She's prepared. She is prepared.
I love her.
Okay. So, who are your influences in the world of independent makeup creators?
So independent, I like MD and Flo. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what the owner's name is. MD and Flo, and I met the lady from Niz Cosmetics. She's got a lipstick brand and vegan organic lipstick brand, and again they're all about the colour and the pigments and bold colour payoffs and stuff. So when I first started up, these were, of course, you have to look at who your competition is, who your inspiration is, and what have you. And these are the brands that I found, and I thought, yeah, these are black women that are doing amazing, and I want to be part of that too.
Okay. All right. So, I just think that there's so many independent, amazing brands that are coming out, and so as someone who is in that industry, what is the makeup industry still lacking when it comes to diversity?
So we're getting the brands now that are starting to cater for women of colour. So of course we've got Fenty Beauty that have come out with their massive shade range, and other brands have started following suit. And while we don't have a massive shade range, we have always catered for women of colour. Those deeper, darker shades that you can't get on, your high street, your mainstream, your drugstore, Superdrug and Boots and stuff. And I think I actually lost my train of thought there. The question was...
So we were talking about industry, within the industry.
Oh, what's missing?
Yeah, what is still missing? Yes.
I think actually representation, actually seeing people, in the media, the actual makeup wearers themselves. So I think it's good having, 40 shades of foundation for, let's say, I don't know, a Rimmel or a L'Oreal advert or something. But we don't often still see women of colour, even men of colour these days, in the adverts, in the magazines, on the billboards, within the stores that are actually advertising the cosmetics. So I think overall, while we have these products coming out, we still need more representation, more people that look like us on our screens and in our magazines and so on and so forth. I don't think that a lot of these big brands are doing it because they care. I think they're doing it because of the money that can be made. Because another example is that, yes, you might have 40 foundation shades. You might actually have those, but if we went to a store, a Boots or a Superdrug, those shades aren't there. Either they're sold out or they're not being stocked anyway. You're just saying that you have those shades, but you still actually aren't catering to the need. I think part of that is down to, demographics of where these stores and brands are placed. Because I live in South London. So if you'd gone there's a department store called Morley's in Brixton.
Yes.
So obviously, Brixton to be quite multicultural.
Yes.
So we've got in Morley's, there is MAC, you've got Bobbi Brown, you've got Fashion Fair, you've got Black Up makeup. Yes. So okay, that's a nice variety of colours and cosmetics to choose from. But if you've gone to Wembley or Richmond or somewhere, you won't have those same amounts of brands and foundation shade choices. So I think it needs to be readily available everywhere.
Awesome. I actually agree. I actually agree. And there is that conversation around how to get it across that we need to be seen in the magazines and actually utilizing the products, because then it creates identity. So as a woman going into the industry, what has been your biggest challenge in the makeup industry?
I think as a small business, as an independent brand, the main challenge, which is still even now, why should we buy your products? Why is it any good? There's been a lot of customers that said, hey, this is as good as, if not better than, MAC. And of course, that's a great big compliment. And it's changing people's minds to go from MAC to an independent brand, a small brand. Do you know what I mean? Because they're comfortable and they're familiar with what they use. And I think the most challenge is, why do we need to use colour blend?
Yes.
So the fact is that, we need to get more people to see, and women like to, feel and touch and smell makeup, and that's why we thrive on so many live events. And we were at Curly Treats last year and got an amazing reception because women are able to try it and put it on and feel it and touch the textures. And then they're like, oh, actually, this is really good stuff. And that's a challenge. Yeah. So for example, being in somewhere like House of Fraser, I think shows customers and potential customers that we do have the potential to be as good as, and we are as good as, it's not even the potential, we are as good as, we just need more people to know about it and kind of it's about taking a risk, really, isn't it? Taking a leap, taking a little leap of faith and saying, okay, yeah, let's try colour blend and see how we go. And touch wood, there's not been one negative review ever. So awesome. I think, yeah, we're on a good path.
All right. So how did you get your first magazine article?
That was, the first magazine article was Melon magazine. And that was, the lady was called Joy. And
so how did you get your first magazine article?
Right, okay, so the first article was with Melon magazine, and I'd met the editor, Joy, at an event some months before. I can't remember the name of the event, but I met her there and I knew who she was, and I simply approached her and I said, oh, I read your magazine, I think it's great, how do I get a slot, how do I get featured? And then we spoke about it some weeks after. And we did an interview just like this, and just, finding out about the business and how I started. And she did a separate article, called Discovering Colour Blend. So that was all about the brand on its own. And that was amazing because that was the first thing that I'd seen published on the brand. And it just felt so warming inside, people actually want to write about me. This is amazing. So the first article was Melon Mag.
Okay.
Check it.
So what advice would you give others coming up on how to approach the media?
Simply, I think I'm quite bold. So I just ask, what do I do? How do I go about it? Can I be in your magazine? So I don't know if that's a conventional way, but that's the way I go about it. I think, of course, you need something for them to want to feature, write about. Of course, PR and press releases are always helpful.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, you know, if you've got a business that you want to shout about, ask people, you know, can you shout about it for me? You know, what do I need to do to be able to get into your magazine or on your show, or, you know, collaboration even. So yeah.
Awesome. Now, you mentioned that you are a soul mother and you have Color Blend, which you birthed alongside your son. So how do you balance motherhood, your life, and your business?
Oh, I read somewhere the other day that running a business while being a parent is like trying to stand in a hammock and not spill your wine. And of course I had to say that because I felt like, yeah, that is me. That's very much me. So my son is of school age now, and I work while he's at school. He comes home, we reason and we catch up about the day, we do dinner and stuff together, and then after he goes to bed is when I continue what was not finished in the day. Right. It is difficult, because it's always about balance. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like I said, a lot of networking events I've missed out on because I've had no childcare or something. So I think, you know, make use of the people that are around you, those support networks. I'm very much, you know, I don't like to ask for help, but, you know, I have to ask for help a lot of the time. And it's, you know, for me, I've had to swallow my pride where I don't like to ask for help. You know, I need to get to certain places and certain events, so I ask for help. And right. I think it's made me, the growth that I've experienced through this journey is not just not just through business, but personally, you know, it's made me have to swallow my pride a bit more, humble myself a bit more, ask for help a bit more. And, you know, a lot of people don't necessarily like to ask for help. But if you are a lone parent, or if you are a parent running a business, you will find that you'll need the help anyway. And no man is an island. So, yeah.
Awesome. You know, we spoke about the doubts you experienced at the initial stages after you got your first pallet sent over to you, and all those doubts that came up. How do you deal with your doubts? How do you manage them?
I tend to overthink things sometimes, and even when I overthink something, I always end up coming back to my first initial thought.
Right.
And I think that a lot of the times when I am doubting myself, it's not necessarily because I can't do something. It comes down to fear and what if things go wrong. And it's funny because I even said to my son this morning, he said a comment to me, and I said, son, let's stop thinking about what can go wrong and let's think what can go right instead. Mm-hmm. He said, oh, do you know what? That's a really good thing to say, Mum. Well, yeah, thanks, son. but in terms of doubts, yeah, you know, I still have doubts. Of course, I'm only human. Mm-hmm. And often enough, you know, I just think about it, I meditate, you know, sometimes I leave it, I sleep on it overnight. And then when I wake up, I go by my instinct, my intuition. And if something doesn't feel right for me, I don't do it. I use my support network to discuss things, talk ideas out, or talk my fears through with. And 99% of the time, it is kind of like, well, Kesha, you know what the answer is here. Or, Kesha, you've done this before, so come on now. It's like, oh, yeah. You know, sometimes you just need a little push or a little reminder that you are capable. We're all capable.
Yes.
And, you know, still to this day, you know, I've got things that I want to implement now. And I'm thinking, oh, you know, okay, what if. But at the end of the day, if you don't try, you will never know, and you won't die.
Exactly. You won't die. I like that basic line is, you know, you may be afraid this may happen, but you won't die from doing it.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what I'm living by.
Looking at your journey so far, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
Go for it.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. Now, there's a lot of things that have hindered me in my life, you know, whether it's I let other people hinder me or I've hindered myself. And I think, yeah, if I was 18, Kesha, put your plans into action and aim for the stars. And I'm really glad and I'm really blessed that I'm a mother, because at this point, you know, my son is coming up for 8 now, and at this point, I can now let him know these little gems that I wish I knew, you know, when I was younger. And, you know, hopefully that helps him to grow up and just go for it as well, because at 18, I didn't have the confidence that I have today. I didn't have the willpower, necessarily the drive that I have today. And if I'd had that sooner, you know, maybe I could have been in a different position now. But again, everything happens within its time. And this is my life today. So yeah, 18-year-old me, go for it. Love yourself and don't be afraid.
Awesome. Now we've come to that part of the show where we talk about our So Loud moment of the week. So Kesha Williams, what is your So Loud moment of the week?
So I think that would be about Pat McGrath. Is it Pat McGrath? Pat McGrath.
Yes. McGrath, yes.
So she is, right now to me, the role model and inspiration. She is everything, because she has a beauty brand, Pat McGrath Labs, which is now just launched into Selfridges.
Yes.
They call her the mothership. She is the mother of makeup. And
wow.
as a black woman, yeah, she is doing amazing things in the makeup industry. And I'd gone by Selfridges the other day and saw her window display. And for anyone that's not seen the window display yet or been to Selfridges, you need to go, because I was completely hypnotized by the diamonds and sequins and the lights and the visuals, and it was amazing. So yeah, if anybody inspires me, and especially this week, it's definitely Pat McGrath, because she is doing amazing things. She's doing amazing things.
I mean, she is been, oh my God, she's done some real things, and I think she was classed as Forbes put her on the self-made millionaires list.
Wow. But the company is valued over $1 billion.
Yes. Billionaire list. And that is just phenomenal. But forget that, but the brand that she owns is just, and for you as a makeup artist, we have to celebrate this woman with a huge round of applause. Yes,
we do. I'm clapping. Can you hear my clap?
Yes, I can hear the clapping.
Yes, go Pat. I'm telling you, she's amazing. And I'd love to be there one day. I'd love to even meet her one day. Not even necessarily be her, but yeah, I'd love to meet her. And I think actually I've worked with a makeup artist called Zainab Hassan. Okay. So anybody that likes makeup, go and check out Zainab Hassan as well. And I'm pretty sure I saw a post earlier or yesterday, and she's standing next to Pat McGrath. And I'm like, oh my God, that is goals. Yeah, she is goals right now. Awesome. So she was in her presence. And we need to make friends.
You've touched on something here, because there seems to be so many new brands, independent brands of color for women of color hitting the market. There seems to be so many, amazing makeup artists of color out there. Do you think that we just need to, there needs to be a space where all these brands get together in one place and hold an event and invite the world to see and say, we are here, we are not going anywhere. And for also the public to know that they are there, and they are many. And so, do you think that we need that?
I think we do. I think that we definitely need to build a lot more of our own platforms so that our own can shine. And why not? That would just be a fabulous event, wouldn't it? It would just be amazing. Yeah.
Can you imagine the different, diverse makeup brands, makeup artists, having people who are experts in their field talk about makeup, to have estheticians of color, people who deal with our skin, our hair in a room. So, hey, whoever wants this event, just, I'll accept the royalty checks for the idea. You're welcome.
Goodness. I mean, there was, just to butt in if you don't mind, Shades of Beauty Live. I don't know if you heard of them.
No.
And they had their first event last year. We were there, we were trading there. And Shades of Beauty Live, it's something similar to that. Hair brands and makeup brands, a couple of influencers, and it was a really good event. I mean, I was only there for a few hours on one day, but they've got hair, skincare, makeup, Male Grooming, and that is somewhere in Lindley Hall, I believe.
Okay.
So the next one is the Carnival weekend.
Okay. I will keep my eyes and ears open for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so how can people get in contact with you and find out more about Colorblend?
Okay, so we're online.
Okay.
Our website, www.colorblendmakeup.com. That's COLORBLEND. Colorblend Makeup. You can find us on Instagram, Colorblend Makeup. You can find us on Twitter, Colorblend UK, and you can find us on Facebook at Colorblend Makeup. If anybody wanted to get in touch with me, my name is Kesha Williams, Kesha. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook, or you can email me at info@colorblendmakeup.com.
Awesome. And what's next for you and Colorblend?
The next thing we've got going on is we should be at Curly Treats again this year. Would like to be at Shades of Beauty again this year, but that's not yet been decided. And Curly Treats is a natural hair and beauty festival where there's all sorts of hair demonstrations and makeup demonstrations and beauty brands going on. That is in July.
Okay.
And then, we've got something in the pipeline that's still being planned. So until we kind of, get the green light on it, I won't just say just yet, but keep posted if you follow us on our social media and keep in touch via our newsletter. Yeah, you can find out everything that's going on.
Awesome. So now, what are you currently reading, or what was the last book you read?
I haven't yet got through. What I'm reading now is Self-Made by Bianca Miller Cole, and her husband. So that's a business book, simply just about, if you're thinking of starting a business or if you're already in business, how to grow and how to improve. The last book I read was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I am yet to read Slay in Your Lane. That is definitely a book I have to get. That's on my list. And I can't think of any others at the moment. But currently, I'm reading Self-Made. Yeah. It's a really good book. I really like Bianca Cole from, she was in The Apprentice, if you ever watched The Apprentice, some years ago.
Yes.
With her brand.
Yes. Yes, I know of Bianca Cole.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so last question. And I know this is almost an unfair question, but what is your favorite item from your range?
Okay. Just one.
Just one.
I've got two shades, but my favorite item is actually Bitchy from the Deluxe Extreme Lips collection. Awesome. So the one that you've got, that is my favorite colour. And we've just launched lip glosses because our lipsticks are matte, they're matte. And the customers said they want shine and a bit of gloss. So we've launched new lip glosses. And my favourite colour from matte is Bad Bessie. So it's like a multi-dimensional red, but it's not really striking. It's a subtle, nice red. I wear it on the school run every day, and always get compliments. So yeah, those are the two.
I like the way you slipped in two when I
I'm
said
sorry.
one. I just no, that was just really slick. I have to commend you.
I'm sorry, I had to.
Kesha, it's been so much fun having you on the show.
Thank you.
I am looking forward to Colorblend growing from strength to strength and seeing it take home in one of the major department stores across London.
Woo! God willing. Yes, please.
Yes,
please. Thanks so much for having me, Lillian. I've had fun today.
You're so welcome. So, folks, it's a wrap. I have had the fantastically amazing makeup creator that is Kesha Williams on the show, and she's told you her journey. Go out and discover her product. Buy it for friends, family, loved ones. Buy it for yourself. Let's start supporting these amazing independent brands that are out there who are creating for us, by us. So It's a wrap, folks. Same time, same place, next week.
You've been listening to The Shine Out Loud Show. If you want to connect with us or let us know what you thought of today's show, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Shine Out Show.